I rarely use superlatives, but this filmmaking tool is wild.
What if you could capture
the uncapturable?
Every nuance, every feeling, not just as you saw it, but as you felt it at the exact moment it mattered most. No missed shots, no regrets, just pure, unadulterated reality.
Defined by you.
Introducing
the memento.
But the truth is, it's not a lens for your eye,
but for your mind.
Powered by the future of generative AI. It doesn't capture, it creates the memento.
So yes, all this mind-boggling footage wasn't shot but generated using Flow by Google and the latest VEO3 model. And if you're like me, your next question is probably,
what are these things? And how can I use them?
This is what we're gonna cover in this video. And I'm also gonna reveal my workflow and some juicy tips using these tools that I've picked up over the past couple of weeks. And oh, hi, I'm Joey Helms, a video creator based out of the beautiful city of Chicago. And this is what the people on the street have to say about me.
Joey Helms, the dude who crashed a drone into a volcano and went viral a few years ago? That was all fake. CGI or AI or something. Just search for it.
Joey? Oh my, he is the only reason I understand what a LUT is.
He's a good reminder that perfectionism is a journey to madness.
Yeah, you were gonna ask me about Joey Helms, right? Leave me alone. I don't want to have anything to do with these YouTubers.
All right, what's Flow? Flow is an AI filmmaking tool. In fact, the only AI filmmaking tool that is custom designed to work with Google's latest generative models and most advanced models. That is VEO3, that is Imagen 4, and Gemini 2.5.
Gemini 2.5, VEO3, Imagen 4. I can count.
And for me, the real reason to go with Flow is because it gives you access to VEO3. Now, because VEO3 is now able to not only have the image, but also generate audio with the image. Now, this can materialize in just simple Foley sounds, sound effects, the revving of the car engine, the tweeting of birds and nature sounds, or if you have actually conversations between protagonists, between characters, they also speak.
Of course we can speak.
And this is really where the opportunities for storytellers arise, because you are now able to basically create a narrative piece using these AI video generators and put it out there. If you don't prompt specifically for audio, it basically really looks like at the scene and generates it from there, but you can also specifically trigger it through the prompting. For example, if you say, if I just prompt a person at the checkout line, a customer at the checkout line is telling a joke to the clerk and the clerk is not impressed, this is what it spits out. It basically makes up a joke.
So the chicken says, why did the golfer bring an extra pair of pants?
I don't know.
In case he got a hole in one.
Now, this is actually not a bad joke, and it's not the best, but it definitely works, and it really shows the strength of what VEO3 is doing. It's actually tapping into the strengths and powers of Gemini 2.5, and it is very smart. It really knows what you want to create, and all the elements in the environment cater to that. If you give it the freedom, it makes decisions for you, like, for example, the joke. But you can also specifically prompt what you want characters to say. Here's basically the same prompt, but just added the joke pre-written that I just found online somewhere on Reddit.
There was a king once who was 12 inches tall. Terrible king, great ruler.
Now, the addition of audio, building on the strength of VEO that was already very superior in terms of physics and motion, and also improvements in terms of its fidelity, of the image complexity, and the cinematic output, honestly, that has increased significantly, is for me like one of the biggest reasons to go with VEO3. But Flow, Flow is basically the tool how you can access VEO3. Flow has some interesting new features as well that you as a filmmaker, as a creator, as a storyteller, really enable you to bring your ideas to life in a more powerful way. And one of the new additions that you now can do with VEO through Flow is that you can have a start and an end frame. You can either upload your own images, your own photos, your own drawings, or you can generate an image right in Flow using the Imagine 4 model. I actually highly recommend using this workflow with a starting image if you're not 100% sure yet what you want to create, if you don't have a super detailed prompt, and if you're still brainstorming, because it's much faster and much cheaper to just generate a couple of images and then pick the one that fits your vision the most instead of generating videos right away, wasting a bunch of resources that way. Oh, it's also really dope to use starting images to bring retro images to life. For example, use this wedding photo here of my very happy great-grandparents. Just brought it to life. It's pretty impressive, and you can definitely delight your family that way. And building on this, and this is possibly my favorite feature of Flow, is ingredients. Now, ingredients is different from start frame. Start frame is really literally the first frame of your video, but with ingredients, you can upload up to 3 ingredients. This could be, for example, 2 characters and a scene, and a scenario and an environment that you want your characters to act in, and it just takes those elements from these ingredients and puts them together. A tip of mine is that if you use characters, I would highly recommend if you generate them, for example, using Imagine 4, you tell them that they should have a white background because then you don't run at the risk that it may take some background elements from the ingredient photo, but just purely your character. So this is really, really important for storytellers if you want to have more complex narratives. Now, right now, the limitation is that you can only use VEO2 as a model for this output. Again, VEO2 is still great, but that doesn't allow you characters to talk. I imagine it's only a matter of time until VEO3 will also support the ingredients features. So how do you get it? Well, you just search for it on Google, then you click on Create with Flow. It opens another window. But in order to start a project, you actually need to subscribe to a Google AI subscription. The good news is the first month is free. So nothing stops you now to just sign up and try out Flow and Whisk and a few other tools. If you really dig it, there is also the Google AI Ultra plan, which is $250. It will give you 12,500 monthly credits, so you can generate a lot. Okay, now that you know what VEO3 is and what Flow is and what it can do for you, let's talk a little bit about what my workflow was to create this announcement video and what other tools I used. Flow and VEO3 obviously at the very heart of it, but it all started out in Gemini. I told Gemini basically the idea of what I wanted to create. I wanted to create a faux product announcement for a filmmaking tool, but misdirect the viewers first in thinking that it is a physical filmmaking tool, only to be revealed to be an AI video generator at the end. It came up with this very nice voiceover copy that I then dropped into Artlist's voiceover generator. And last but not least, since Flow and VEO3 exports at 720p and you can upscale it in the tool up to 1080p, I used Topaz Labs to upres it to up to 4K. The output was very nice. Not perfect by any stretch of imagination. Sometimes a little too sharp, so I added a little bit of grain. But I really dig what this tool did as well. Now that you know my workflow, let's talk about possibly the biggest skill set that you need to develop when creating generative AI content. And that's prompting.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Joey's channel for more filmmaking and AI content.
He made me say that.
And the key thing to understand is that VEO3, like video models like VEO3, are trained on video footage, right? They don't necessarily know what certain technical jargon means, like a dolly zoom. So the best way to go about it is to explain and describe the scene that you want to create in normal language, in layman's language. You can obviously also use LLMs like Gemini to help you prompt and help you like describe, for example, what a dolly zoom is in terms of a prompt. These tools, especially Flow with VEO3 integrated and Gemini, they will understand what you want to create. And even if it takes sometimes a couple of iterations.
And here we go again. Another lost prompt.
And when it comes to prompting, I go about one or two ways. The first one is if I have a scene in mind, I'm trying to be as specific as possible, describing the type of shot, the environment, for example, the setting, the lighting, the time of day, etc. The characters from looks to attire, their actions and what's happening in the environment, the camera movement, and also iterate. It always takes sometimes a couple of tries in order to get there. And the nice thing is oftentimes you get ideas from elements that the generative models just add naturally to the scene. Either you really like that piece and then you add it to your prompt, or it sparks a different idea. So I found these models actually to be very, very good brainstorming partners as well. And on that note, if you, and this is my other way, if you have only a vague idea, only like a spark of an idea in your mind, use Imagine 4 and VEO3 to brainstorm, to just drop a simple, very basic prompt in and see what it comes up with, and then use these sparks as directions for new ideas. Now, this is obviously just the start. I kept it intentionally high level, so to give you just a little bit of an idea of what my workflow is and the tools I've used. Definitely let me know if you have any questions.
What is happening? The video.
It's coming to an end. I still have so many questions.
Off to the comments, everyone.
But I'm very curious what the future holds. If we just look back 5 months ago when VEO2 came out and where we are now, this is an accelerating environment, and I encourage you to just keep a tab on it and use the tools.
What is he proposing?
Learn how to interact with them, learn what they're doing well, see how they fit into your workflow. Because I think it's a very powerful tool actually to sell in ideas, to bring your vision to life, be it for commercial work, be it for narrative work. I can tell you my love for filmmaking and the physical process of filming is not going away anywhere. I think it's a very, very powerful tool to inspire you. And I'm excited to explore the capabilities of these tools further and talk about those in my channel alongside the physical creation of videos.
And then he turns to the camera and energetically says, "Have a good morning.
Have a good night, whenever and wherever you are around this beautiful planet. Bye-bye."